like I am stuck in my own mind and I get claustrophobic up here.
Every single day, I'm gonna make something great. That's my...
Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. Well, right now it's actually like 11:30 at night, but I really wanted to talk about something that has been going on recently, and I kind of have had to deal with this like throughout my whole life. I wanted to just discuss this because a lot of people out there go through similar situations like this, and I wanted to just like reach out and share my experience with anxiety. So yes, I did start my YouTube channel, and it actually took me a long time, and not just the timing part, but it took a lot for me to actually put myself out there, to literally put my face on camera. Took a lot out of me because I completely changed and grew. Not just changed, but I grew as a person. Kind of tell you a story. I pretty much have been struggling with anxiety because I lived a life where there was always a lot going on. There was a lot of psychological, emotional abuse in my family, and it really has affected me throughout my life. Even when I was a kid, I can remember I had a lot of nightmares, but not just any nightmares. There were like specific nightmares about men. I was terrified of men, specifically men, and I don't know why. I don't know if something happened when I was a child and I just don't remember it, but I literally was like terrified. Like, I remember when I was in kindergarten, and no, not kindergarten, it was actually in preschool, and it was actually one of those schools where you put your kid in and you actually go to school with them. So my mom went to school and they took care of me in a little daycare kind of setup, and there was a woman teacher and a man teacher in the classroom. I remember one specific time when they were laying us down on the mats to take a nap, and he came up to me because my eyes were open, and I don't know what his name was, but I remember he came up to me and asked me, why am I not sleeping? And when he, like, that's literally all he said to me, is all I can remember he said to me, and then I just busted out crying, and I didn't know why. I just knew I was terrified of this man. I don't believe he ever did anything to me, but I was terrified of him. Like, I remember having a thought of like, I hated him talking to my mom because some part of me thought that he was like hitting on her or something, and I was very protective of my mother at a very young age. There was also a time in elementary school where I was like walking down the hallway and I got lost, and there was a male teacher who came up to me and tried to help me, and I just started crying again. Like, I didn't scream, I just started crying as if he hurt me. And when I was asked like what was wrong, did he do anything to me, like I said no, but I didn't like him. Not specifically him, but him being a man, I didn't like that. And even my sisters were like that too. Like, maybe it's what my mom taught us, I'm not sure. Like, if we're in a car, like me and my sisters and my mom, and if a guy were to walk past the car, we automatically lock the doors, roll up the windows and lock the door. It was always our first instinct if a guy were to be around our vehicle. It made me like scared of a lot of things. I don't know if it's specifically that, but I was just always terrified of things. Like, in school, I was absolutely terrified of speaking in the class. Like, I think it was like second grade. I've always been a writer. I love to write. There was an assignment to write a story, like a little mini book. So I wrote it. I was so proud of it. I read it back to my parents like 5 times that night before school, and And then the next day in class, I was so, like, I thought I was ready. I kept reading it and reading it over and reading it over. Like, I can do this, I can do this. I was like talking myself into convincing myself that I could read this in front of the class. So when it came down to it, like 5 people were called before me, and then the teacher had called my name, and I didn't even stand up. I just started crying. That was my like defense mechanism, I guess. And it was embarrassing. I was so embarrassed when I cried, but I couldn't help it. Like it was like I, before they even called my name, like my heart would start pounding and I would get super sweaty. I'm known to have like sweaty palms, and I got so nervous, and it just like took over me, and like in an instant, right when they called my name, I started crying, and I would not get up. That I couldn't do it, I can't do it, I can't do it, I can't do it, over and over and over. And I started crying profusely, and like tears just running down my face. I was terrified to speak in front of people, and I didn't know what it was. I just knew like I was terrified. I grew out of it, thank God. But there's a lot of instances in my life that I just busted out crying and I couldn't do it. Like I was in chorus in middle school. I was fine then. Like it took a lot of practice, a lot of courage. Like I remember when I first started chorus, I would go up on stage and we practiced a lot, you know. I knew I can do it. But when we were like performing, I would sing really low because I was like, there's like 20 of us, like they won't notice if I sing really low, you know. And so I would like whisper just because, like, not that I didn't know the words, I would whisper because I didn't want them to hear me mess up, or if I had a bad voice, I didn't want to get made fun of. So I automatically just like thought of that, even though if I practiced a million times at home and I was confident, whatever, like when it came down to it, I just didn't put my all into it. So it really held me back from trying. Like I have these passions to do things that require me to, you know, do it in front of people, but anxiety really held me back from doing it. And it sucks because when I'm at home and I'm practicing and I dance at home and I sing at home and I think like, wow, I can, like, I'm not the best singer, I'm not going to put that out there, but when I would do this at home, I would feel very empowered and like I can do this, I can do what they're doing on TV, and I'm never going to be able to do it though. I didn't want to pursue it because I was afraid. I was actually very like a very good dancer. I loved hip-hop dancing and I was on a dance team, and I actually was on it for like only 5 months because I hated performing in public and I would forget the moves. Like I would practice for weeks, and then when it came down to performing, I just forgot. Like took over my mind, and I was like, dude, like I really forgot the moves. I'm telling you this because I've had anxiety my whole life, and it stems upon a lot of things that I had to go through as a child, and I had to see and hear, and how I was raised. But it actually, like, I'm more confident now. Like I believe like I can definitely stand on stage and, you know, do a dance in front of people. I became more confident as an adult because I kept putting myself out there even when I didn't want to, and I kept challenging myself, and eventually I got to a point where like talking in public didn't make me cry. And you know, when I graduated high school, I graduated with honors, and I got to say a speech in front of the mayor, and I did stumble a little bit, but I was proud of myself for doing it. And there's a lot more I know I can do, you know. And I really wanted to make this video honestly because I had a situation happen just yesterday, and it was like unfamiliar because I haven't felt that in a while. I was ready to film a video, and I had this, you know, it wasn't this video, it was about something else, and I had you know, jotted down a bunch of notes and topics that I would talk about, and I got the camera ready, I got in front of the camera, and then all of a sudden my heart starts racing and like I started stuttering like that. My chest felt really tight, and then I couldn't really catch my breath, so I had to turn the camera off right away and sit down, and it felt like my chest was like super tight. I literally just like took my bra off and turned off all the lights, and I laid in bed and I tried to close my eyes and tried to keep my mind off of what I was thinking about. I literally had to slow down my heart rate because I was having a panic attack, and I haven't had one in so long, so it felt super crazy to me, and I was probably overthinking something, or I was stressed out about something, and I need to just relax, and I did. When I was trying to film the video, I was thinking about a stressful situation that was going on in my head while I was trying to film, and it didn't, like, my brain didn't allow me to appear to be okay. I lost control of my self when this happened. You don't want to explain an anxiety attack when it's happening. It's like you can't even talk. It's crazy because you could be in a room full of people and this happen, and literally all you want to do is literally pull yourself away and be isolated and just have your own space. Because when this happens to me personally, I get in my own mind, like I am stuck in my own mind, and I get claustrophobic up here. And I don't know if you understand this, but it's like when you're claustrophobic, you can't be in small spaces. When you have an anxiety attack and you're around a lot of people, you are extremely claustrophobic, and you get locked up in your stress and anxiety, and the only way to stop it is to literally like take yourself out of that situation with nobody around you. Maybe take a walk outside, get some fresh air, go to the restroom, be in your own little circle. Just be somewhere where you can actually breathe and calm yourself down. I really wanted to discuss like anxiety in general, because I do have, like, it's different with me. I know it's different with me than a lot of other people, and steered me away from doing what I want to do. And it doesn't have to. Just because this happened, just like it happened yesterday, I don't want to just let things go because I think like, okay, I have an anxiety attack because I'm talking on stage in front of people, so I'm never going to do that again. Or I have an anxiety attack because I film a YouTube video and I'm on camera, so I'm not going to do that again. I'm not going to let my anxiety keep me from doing things that I actually enjoy doing. And even like talking in front of people doesn't necessarily intrigue me, but I love doing it. I love challenging myself to be able to do it, because I don't like to necessarily talk to people, but I like to spread my words to them, if that makes sense. I'm going to school for psychology, and the whole purpose is because I want to help people, especially people with mental disorders and people that are going through a lot inside that others don't understand. This is something that I've been battling my whole life, but I believe I can still get through it, and I'm strong enough to just handle it on my own. That is pretty much all I have to say today. It is a different video than my others, and I would love to just discuss these like similar topics to this in the future, because I believe it can change other people's lives, and I could just impact people in different ways. So if you do enjoy this video, let me know in the comment section below, and please subscribe to my channel and let me know what other topics we can discuss. Hope you all have a blessed day, and just know that whatever you're going through today, yesterday, the day before, tomorrow, you can get through it. You are not alone.